The KeysDAN Show. It's the KeysDAN Show. I need a new theme for the KeysDAN Show. You might hear news. You might learn stuff. You never know what you're going to get on the KeysDAN Show. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa. What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What Studios. And this is my podcast, The KeysDAN Show. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? Where do I send you every time you hear one of these silly little podcasts, these silly little Facebook Lives? DJLittleRock.com. Let me say that one more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability, get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. I like to party with the people. Yeah, speaking of partying with the people, let's start off small in my little area, my little realm of the world, my little part of the world, Conway, Arkansas, Central Arkansas, where I'm transmitting from right now. I know I usually like to be more elusive and say it's an undisclosed location. Well, I'm in Conway, Arkansas. There, I said it. You're part of it. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm getting to party with the people as we break out of this coronavirus transition thing, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, whatever phase we're in. Some of the places that I've done karaoke shows at are opening back up, and I'm excited about that. And for those of you that are joining me on this Facebook Live at 6 p.m. Sunday evenings, which is what I've been doing lately. I think I started maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago where I'm doing the Facebook Lives and turning them into podcasts, and you get to be a part of the show. So every time that you put a comment in, I'm going to be recording it on video, and you're a part of it. So Derek LaShawn Marshall, thank you for the keys and the woot. And yes, you are part of it forever and ever. I'll be posting this video up on YouTube, and it will live out there until YouTube dies. One day it will, I'm sure. All things come to an end, but I don't think it's going to happen very soon. So back to me, okay? Because it's all about me right now at this particular moment. I will get to the news. I will get to what's going on in the rest of the world. I know that it's topsy-turvy out there. And I want you to be a part of it as well. You can definitely be a part of this simply by calling 501-470-6386. Got my phone plugged into my Rode podcast thing. So if you call in, you get to be a part of the show. You can tell me what you're up to in this time, in this era, this piece of, as we record this, June 7th, 2020. What are you up to? Are you back on the streets? Are you back out there doing your working thing? Are you one of the essential people? Have you always been one of the essential people? Have you always been working? Or did you lose your job for a little bit and just finally, crawling out to the world? Well, I have. I'm very excited. The Rab in Conway, Arkansas, Friday nights is doing the video dance party karaoke jam. Well, maybe not so much dancing. Still trying to keep the dance floor empty as we try to, limit ourselves, limit our social activity, limit our social contacting. I appreciate that the show is open. The show must go on. The people need to be entertained. You can't stay cooped up all the time. I know there's some people that thrive that way, that live, by themselves for the most part, and are very happy working at home. I'm even hearing tell of some of these companies that are letting people work from home. Are you one of those people? Hey, I want to know. I want to know about you, as I like to interview people. I like to talk to people. I like to find out what makes people tick. You could tell your story. Yeah, you could tell your story right there on the What Makes You Famous podcast. Hashtag What Makes You Famous. I like to do those as well. I've been doing about, maybe 3-4 a week, talking to people from all over the world and getting the ideas from them. Yeah, I'm sucking knowledge from people. All right. Well, I have done, let's see, the Rab. We did our second Friday. We did one Friday, the Friday past, and then the Friday before that, the Rab in Conway, Arkansas was able to do a video dance party karaoke jam. Boy, they had some fun. I had some fun. It was nice to see the people. And then last night, Saturday night, I was at the Choctaw VFW in the big room. My goodness, that room is so big. They got a nice stage. I set myself up there, and yeah, we had a good time. The people at the Choctaw VFW have been very nice to me in the past, and I'm very excited when I get to go up there and entertain the people. So the next time I'll be, next time I'll be at the Rab is next Friday. As the as time permits, and hopefully if everything goes well, and I don't foresee any problems. But next Friday night, I look forward to doing the Rab, the video dance party karaoke jam, and then let's see, the the next time I'll be at the Choctaw VFW is June 11th. So I'm stoked about that as well. Oh, yeah. Nancy Williams Taylor says, "Is this live?" Yeah, it's live. I'm alive. Hi. How are you? How's it going out there? Parker Joshua says, "Good day, Dan." And I say, "Good day back to you." I'm very excited that you're out here joining me on the live as we record this. Now, I will make this into a podcast, the KeysDAN Show podcast, hashtag KeysDAN Show, and you'll be living on it forever and ever because I'm going to keep on shouting you out, as you pop into the Facebook Live. And if you do want to call, if you're just joining me, 501-470-6386, I will pop you right into the feed. Oh, I even have my Skype up. So if you have Skype, you can look me up, Keys Dan. Pretty easy to find out how to spell Keys Dan. It's right up there. Right there. That's Keys Dan right there. You can find me on Skype. And if you want to call in, shoot, you're going to end up right there. You're going to pop up right there, the video version of you. So, yeah, we're getting pretty sophisticated. This old man is learning new tricks, trying to make my Facebook Live look prettier, more presentable. I want to be presentable. I even wore my tuxedo shirt with the bow tie. For those of you that come out to the video dance parties and even the weddings and some of the other parties that I do, I like to wear bow ties out there. But it's Sunday afternoon into the evening, and I'm getting a little more casual Sunday afternoon. Only crazy people work on Sundays. I appreciate all the people that work on Sundays, all those people that are very essential, providing services of all kinds. I appreciate you. In fact, I went to a fast food joint and had myself some fast food. I probably shouldn't have. I probably should not have. I need to watch my diet a little bit. But the family got lazy. We didn't feel like cooking, so we let one of the fast food burger joints do the trick, and it hit the spot. It really did. So yeah, I appreciate that. Oh, look at you, Derek LaShawn Marshall. He is working. He's out there working on a Sunday. Got to get back to work, sir. Keys Dan, love you, man. Appreciate all at you do. And don't forget, we still got a karaoke song one of these days. Have a good evening. Yeah, you better come out to a karaoke show. I want to hear you sing. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with Derek LaShawn and doing. Oh, Nancy Williams Taylor says, "Where are you now?" Well, I'm broadcasting live from the Radio What Studios here in Conway, Arkansas. You can call me. Go ahead, call me. Do it. I dare you. You'll be that one person that shows up and tells me what's going on in your neck of the woods. Yeah, yeah. Do it. I dare you. I dare you. And if more people call through this technology that we have called cell phones, we can keep adding calls. It'll be a whole big conversation. How about that? I like having conversations with people and rambling mostly. I mean, this is all stuff off the noggin. I'm just excited to be back out on the streets doing all kinds of work and being able to provide the entertainment for the people. I am honored to be the entertainer at these parties. I even have weddings coming up real soon. Kind of excited about that. I think in July would be the first wedding that I got coming up. Let me check my calendar here while I'm talking to you. The next one, I think it is in July. So it's I know the 4th of July is coming up. I don't have anything for 4th of July. So if anybody has a party, probably one of those outside parties would be ideal. Set me up, and I'll put the karaoke jam out there, and people can sing to their heart's content. The 4th of July is on a Saturday. So I'm excited. We're going to be celebrating America's independence on a Saturday. And I think that's going to be a big, big party. A lot of people are ready to break out of the house. If you haven't done it already, you're ready to go. You're ready to break out of the house and go play with your friends, party with the people. And if I have the honor, if you will allow me the honor, I would be happy to party with you, provide the music, provide the entertainment for you. Set up the microphones, the televisions, and so people can read the words and have a little video dance party. Oh yeah, I like playing with people. Well, like I said, I got the. I mean, now that I know how to podcast, and a podcast I am doing. I enjoy speaking into microphones. I enjoy talking to people, sharing ideas, conversing. If I don't have somebody for the What Makes You Famous podcast, then I go ahead and do the What Makes You Smarter hashtag What Makes You Smarter podcast, where I get to learn some stuff. And since I'm going to be reading anyway, might as well read it out loud into a microphone, put it out into the world. If somebody wants to listen, that sounds great. If they don't, hey, I still learned something. I put some knowledge in my head. So it was purely selfish, I'll tell you. And while I'm at it, might as well send it out to the world. Yeah. So, I do have the 10 things you need to know today sitting in front of me. I have the ones from yesterday as well, because I know there was a lot of news yesterday. And if you weren't privy to the news or didn't get a chance to listen to the news, I do have 10 points of interest that happened yesterday. And then I have 10 more that happened today. I'll briefly go through them because I don't want to take too much of your time. But I do appreciate you taking the journey with me and going along for the ride on this Facebook Live Sunday evening, 6 p.m. Central Time. And won't you join me? Won't you join me every Sunday evening, just like a regular old timey show where people actually had to wait for a certain time and a certain day to watch their favorite shows. Nowadays, you kids don't know the struggle. It's all out there streaming, including this show. This show will be rebroadcast and it will be out there streaming, so you can consume it at your own leisure. You don't have to actually listen on Sunday unless you want to participate, unless you want to be a part of the show. And you can be. You can be a part of the show. See? It's so easy. All right, party people. Well, 10 things you need to know today. That's for Saturday, June 6th, 2020. That was a D-Day. Definitely an important day in history, an important date in history when our brave soldiers stormed the beaches and, turned the tide of World War II. D-Day. Well, number one, and some of this news is already old. Number one on the 10 things you need to know today. Sound effects. I love them. On the 10 things you need to know today was Washington, D.C. was preparing for a massive demonstration on Saturday. Protests continued across the United States and around the world in response to the death of George Floyd, who was killed while in police custody in Minneapolis, Minnesota in May. The city's police will prohibit vehicle traffic in much of Washington's downtown area as thousands of protesters are expected to attend. Tensions remain high between police and protesters, though many of Friday night's demonstrations remain peaceful. Meanwhile, the Pentagon this week were reportedly told the small group of National Guardsmen deployed to the Capitol who had been carrying guns to disarm. And the department also announced that all active duty military forces on standby would be sent to their home bases. Defense Secretary Mark Esper made the decision to disarm the guard without consulting the White House. This is the Washington Post reports, according to the Washington Post and Reuters. Yeah. So that was yesterday. Unemployment rates. Right, number 2. There you go. Unemployment rates surprisingly declines to 13.3%. Labor Department on Friday expected unexpectedly said the U.S. unemployment rate declined to 13.3% in May after rising to 14.7% in April. The report surprised economists who had been forecasting that the rate would increase to around 20%. The report showed about 2.5 million jobs were added in May after 20.7 million were lost in April. All 50 states have started reopening their economies after shutting down during the coronavirus pandemic. And the Labor Department said, and the Labor Department said, quote, these improvements in the labor market reflected a limited resumption of economic activity that had been curtailed in March and April, end quote. The report pointed to leisure and hospitality, construction, education, and health services, and retail trade as areas where employment rose sharply. However, the report also included a note that a misclassification error occurred in April and May, indicating real unemployment would have been higher for both months, according to the Washington Post and the New York Times. All right, the economy's opening back up. Hooray! Whether we have this pandemic out there, or we got this flu bug out there, this thing that doesn't have a cure yet. Hey, we got to get out. We got to get out of the house. And I say that as I'm inside. I'm indoors. I'm not doing this broadcast outside. I'm doing it inside. All right, number 3. Minneapolis agrees to outlaw police chokeholds. What? Minneapolis agreed Friday to ban police chokeholds after negotiations with Minnesota's Department of Human Rights. The decision comes after a police officer kneeled on George Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes last week. 2 autopsies found Floyd died from asphyxia, due to neck and back compression by the officer. In the new agreement, chokeholds will be illegal, and any police officer who witnesses an illegal use of force must intervene verbally or physically and immediately report the incident or face disciplinary action. 3 ex-police officers witnessed Floyd's death and have since been charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder. The agreement to update chokehold policies in Minneapolis will require court approval. This is according to the Associated Press. What? Okay. I believe cops need to be able to defend themselves. They need to know how to defend themselves. I think what was it, Andrew Yang, one of the former presidential candidates, or he was aspiring to be the presidential candidate. He said that all the police, he was recommending that they all have at least purple belts in jiu-jitsu. And I think that's a good idea. People need the police are there to protect us for the most part. And, you don't, some people say they don't like them until they need them. Police, I believe for the most part, they're good. All right. Barring these few incidents, they are generally good people. I believe all people are generally good people. There's just a few bad apples, nutcases, that just ruin it for everything. And because of social media, we get to hear about those cases, and they get to go all over the world. And yes, those cases do need to be heard. It needs to be a reminder. Don't do this. This is what not to do. Don't kneel on somebody's neck, especially when they're handcuffed and they're telling you they can't breathe. Yes, the police need to be vigilant and know that this is a wrong thing. But not all cops are like that. And just people are generally good. There's just a few desperate people that are out there ruining it for everybody else. I try to be good. Think of yourself. You that are listening right now. Are you a good person? Do you try to be good to people? Do you? I'm asking you a real question. And if you want to answer it, you can call me 501-470-6386 and we can chit chat about it. Let me know what you're thinking in this time. As soon as that incident happened, that horrific incident that should have never happened, it sparked up conversation all over the world. And those few bobos that went out and started to destroy the world, and their own communities. And I don't even believe that it was their own communities. I believe that the people that were looting and robbing and burning the place down weren't even from there. They were bust in from someplace else. You tell me, what do you think? These are the things that go through my head. Are you going to be destroying your own town? I remember there was a movie I think it was an Italian mobster movie, and the mother would spit on her own floor, if she was very upset. And who's going to do that? Who's going to spit on their own floor? Who's going to burn their own community to the ground? I do truly believe that these are people that are bust in and drove in from outside to cause havoc in other people's yards and to capitalize on the situations. Yeah. So be nice to each other, give peace a chance, all that stuff. Violence leads to more violence. I don't like it. And then, yeah, don't even get me started with our commander in chief inciting more violence. Oh, all right. Like him or not, he's the president. So vote, vote early, vote often, vote by mail. Do it. All right. Where did I go on that one? Where did I go? I don't know. I went somewhere. This will live out there forever. I don't edit these things. It will live out there forever. Sometimes I get frustrated. I'm generally a happy person. I guess that's why I still have most of my hair. Is that a wives' tale? if you're unhappy or if you live a good life, you'll keep your hair and it'll stay generally the same color as when you were born. Of course, my little beard starting to get some grays in there. I think that's just part of growing up. What do you think? Let me get your opinion. This beard thing. Usually, I'm clean shaven, baby faced. When I started growing this beard thing, trying to reshape my skull here. I got too much fat on my face. Should I just go out and exercise a little bit more? Maybe thin my face out rather than grow a beard? Probably. I think I answered my own question. I kid. I laugh at myself because, hey, people can laugh at me if they want to. That sounds great. Streaming live on Facebook, 6 p.m. Sunday nights. Sunday. All right. The nice thing about these podcasts, you can do whatever you want. If people want to listen, that's fine. People don't, and that's fine too. All right. Number 4 on the things you need to know. That was yesterday. I didn't get to do it yesterday, so I wanted to go through it. And while I'm here, you can go through it with me. Biden locks up Democratic nomination. So Joe Biden is our Democratic nominee. He's one of the choices that you have to vote for. You can either vote for him or you can vote for the incumbent president, President Trump. Let's see. Biden locks up Democrat. Let's see. After several states, Washington, D.C., and Guam finished tallying Democratic primary votes this week, former Vice President Joe Biden has accrued enough delegates to clinch the party's presidential nomination, the Associated Press and CNN report. Biden has been the presumptive nominee since April, when his last remaining competitor, Senator Bernie Sanders, independent Vermont, dropped out of the race. But he's now officially set to face President Trump in November's election. Biden struggled in the primary's early stages, but a dominant performance in South Carolina, buoyed by the state's black voters, helped him rebound. Quote, "It was an honor to compete alongside one of the most talented groups of delegates the Democratic Party has ever fielded, and I am proud to say that we are going into this general election a united party," end quote. Biden said in a statement on Friday. This is according to the Associated Press and CNN. Yeah, all right. So 2 choices. Still got this 2-party system. I know that we always have independents, green parties, and libertarians and other parties in there, but primarily it's a 2-party system. So we get 2 choices. I know whenever I go someplace, if I have too many choices, I get kind of freaked out too. So I'm okay with 2 choices, but these are the two choices we have. Are you happy with those 2 choices? What do you think? Let me know. Let me know. You can drop me some comments later if you want to, or you can call me if you're listening right now. Let's see. Number 5, Trump to withdraw 9,500 troops stationed in Germany. President Trump on Friday directed Pentagon to permanently remove 9,500 of the 34,500 American troops stationed in Germany, the Wall Street Journal reports. A senior U.S. official said the move had been in the works since last September and was not related to recent disagreements between Trump and German Chancellor Angela Merkel. Angela Merkel. But the official did say the decision is consistent with Trump's frustration over the fact that Germany, a key member of NATO, doesn't meet the alliance's goal of spending 2% of its GDP on defense. A senior German defense official said Berlin hasn't been formally notified of the decision. This is according to the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times. All right. Hey, Trump runs the White House the way he wants to. Okay. We elected the man. Well, we, the collective we, the royal we elected the man to office. So that's what we got. That's what we got. He's pulling the troops out of Germany. Where are those troops going to go? Are they coming back home? I hope so. Or are they going to be rebuilding other places? Well, that's a possibility as well. But maybe he's pulling those troops back because he needs some active troops, which he said that he needs to go to protesters. I hope not. I hope he's not bringing those troops home so they can attack people on American soil. Americans attacking Americans. No, no, no. That is the wrong thing to do. That's what all of your advisors, Mr. President Trump, have said. Don't use regular army to act as police. It's the wrong thing to do. Okay. Number 6. Buffalo police team resigns to support officers who pushed over older man. Buffalo, New York's entire police emergency response team resigned on Friday in a show of support for 2 officers who were suspended after pushing over a 75-year-old man on Thursday. Video of the Buffalo Police Emergency Response Team members pushing over the man showed blood running from his head. Police walked past him, but the man, a local peace activist, was later hospitalized. 2 officers involved were suspended without pay. So, quote, 57 resigned in disgust because of the treatment of the two of their members, end quote, said Buffalo PBA President John Evans. The officers who stepped down are still on the Buffalo police force, but have left the special emergency response team. Evans said the officers were, quote, simply following orders to clear the square, end quote. And the man, quote, slipped, end quote. This is according to Buffalo News and the Investigative Post. He slipped. He slipped several times and hit the pavement. He fell down. Did he? You look at the video. You tell me. Did he? Did he slip? Come on, man. All the cameras out there. Even if you were thinking about doing something stupid, just the fact that everybody has a digital high resolution camera in their pockets should keep you honest. Come on, son and daughter. Keep you honest. There's so many cameras out there. I got one right here. I got one right there in front of me. Right there, poking at me. That you're viewing me on. There's cameras everywhere. So even if you are a dishonest person, I guess maybe you're dumb. Maybe you're just dumb. Okay? Just plain dumb. And you definitely don't need to be there. So, all right. And then in response, 57 people quit their positions, but not their jobs. They still have jobs in the police force. It's not like they made any kind of real statement. I guess. They did what they thought would be perceived as a statement, but they still have their jobs and they're still getting paid by the taxpayers. Taxpayer money. Like when you get stopped by a police officer, and I hope you don't get stopped by a police officer. I hope you stay on the straight and narrow and do the right thing. But when you get stopped, hey, My taxes pay your salaries. Police love to hear that, don't they? Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't aggravate these people. They're already on edge as it is. Police have a job where everybody's lying to them all the time. They have to be suspicious of people. Oh my goodness, it's a tough job. To be it starts out as the hall monitor in school. That kid always got bullied. So yeah, these are the hall monitors all over your city, all over your town, all over your state. So yeah, they have a tough job, man. They're on edge. So don't aggravate them. Yikes. All right. Number 7. John Kelly agrees with Mattis's rebuke of Trump. Former White House Chief of Staff John Kelly on Friday said he agrees with former Defense Secretary James Mattis's recent denunciation of President Trump. Speaking with former White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci in an interview, Kelly said, quote, "The partisanship has gotten out of hand," end quote. Mattis said earlier this week, Trump, quote, "tries to divide us," end quote, and criticized Trump's call to involve the military in shutting down nationwide protest against the police brutality. Quote, "I agree with Mattis," said Kelly, saying it's time to look harder at who we elect, to examine their character and ethics. Kelly also expressed disapproval of protesters this week being cleared out of Lafayette Square with pepper spray so Trump could walk to St. John's Church for a photo op, saying he would have recommended against it, according to the Wall Street Journal and ABC News. He would have recommended against pepper spraying American people and tourists and whoever else was sitting there so the president could have a path cleared for a photo op. And I saw the photo op. He held up a Bible like he really believes in that thing. I don't believe he does. I mean, I don't know that I'm not in his head. I'm thankful that I'm not in his head. It's hard enough being in my own head. But come on, son. Oh, what is going on in this world, in this country? Give peace a chance. Peace, love, all that. Just love each other. Just love each other. All right. Number 8. No, I already used that one. Number 8. There you go. Dow climbs more than 800 points after May's better than expected jobs report. The Dow Jones Industrial Average climbed more than 829 points on Friday, following a jobs report that showed the unemployment rate surprisingly declined. The S&P 500 also jumped 2.6%. The Labor Department said the unemployment rate declined to 13.3% in May, as the economy added 2.5 million jobs. While the unemployment rate remains high, it wasn't expected to decline at all in May, and economists were predicting around 20% unemployment. Friday marked the first time Dow closed above 27,000 in 3 months, and Wall Street is close to January numbers recorded before the coronavirus pandemic affected the economy. The S&P 500 is reportedly close to recouping all of its 2020 losses. This is according to CNBC and the Washington Post. Yay! The economy's coming back. I think more deaths, man. There had to be a bunch of deaths of people that were getting depressed out there, losing their jobs, losing their businesses. That's very depressing. I'm very happy that at least my day job was an essential job. I never lost my job, but my night job was a non-essential job. And I need that job. I need both of those jobs to keep my family going. Keep a roof over our heads, foods on our plates. Maybe I ate a little bit too much food. Maybe you're looking at me and you're going, "Hey, that fat guy doesn't need that much food. He can wither away a little bit." All right, I agree. I'm hard on myself because I need to lose some of this weight. Not all of it, some of it. Okay. And number 9, Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian resigns from board and calls for a black candidate to replace him. Reddit co founder Alexis Ohanian resigned from the company's board Friday. Ohanian, the husband of Serena Williams, who co founded Reddit in 2005, announced his decision amid the nationwide protest and outrage over the killing of George Floyd. It is long overdue to do the right thing, he said. I'm doing this for me, for my family, and for my country. Ohanian said he has urged the company's board to pick a black candidate to fill his seat, and he's additionally pledged to use future gains on his Reddit stock to serve the black community, chiefly to curb racial hate, explaining that he's a father who needs to be able to answer his black daughter when she asks, "What did you do to start?" He said he's donating $1 million to Colin Kaepernick's Know Your Rights camp. This is according to Axios and The Week. There's good. That's a good dude. I mean, you know, leaving a place and wanting a black person to replace you. That's one thing. I'm sure he was doing a fine job, just because he's white. Okay, if he's the best person for the job, don't just hire somebody because of their race, their creed, their motto, who they love. Just hire the right person for the job. So hey, maybe he stepped down for other reasons. Maybe he can focus a little bit more about being a daddy. And I understand that and I appreciate that. But don't step down from your job because you think that somebody of a different race, whether if they're not more qualified, then no, don't do it. Pick the right person for the job, the best person for the job. Doesn't matter what they look like. If they're the best person for the job. Anybody with me? Anybody against me? Let me know. All right, party people. Number 10 on the 10 things you need to know today. This is from yesterday, and I'm reading this because I didn't get to do it yesterday, so I'm learning what happened yesterday, and then I'll probably just brush briefly over what happened today. Let's see. Number 10. Goodell says NFL was wrong, encourages players to peacefully protest. In response to demands from players last week, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said Friday the league now encourages players to speak out and peacefully protest. The statement comes several years after former San Francisco 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick launched a movement to kneel during the national anthem before games. The protest against police brutality deeply divided the league at the time, and Kaepernick has remained unsigned since the 2016 season. But Goodell said the league was wrong for not listening to NFL players earlier. The reversal comes amid a wave of protests across the country sparked by George Floyd's death while in police custody. Goodell said he also is personally protesting and wants to be a part of the change much needed in this country. It's unclear if Goodell was specifically encouraging players to kneel. This is according to the Wall Street Journal and ESPN. Whether you appreciate that the players kneeled, in particular Colin Kaepernick, I back their I back their ability. I back I- maybe I don't agree with the way you protested, but I encourage you to peacefully protest in the way that you deem necessary. Yeah, a lot of people thought that Colin Kaepernick kneeling at the national anthem in response to police brutality was the wrong thing to do, and you are definitely entitled to your opinion, but I'll back the man to do as he seemed fit. It was a peaceful protest. He didn't hurt anybody. He just kneeled silently to to use his platform, to use his celebrity, in a way to further the cause that he thought was right. Excuse me. Let me get a sip of my tea here. All right. Well, that was the 10 things you needed to know yesterday. Now, today, things have changed a little bit. Have you kept up with the news? I've been trying to make a point of at least reading these 10 things you need to know today to keep myself apprised, keep myself aware of current events. I'm not much of a news watcher. I don't have regular TV. I have a lot of streaming services. That's how I get my entertainment on. And I listen to a lot of podcasts. Some are news related, some are not. Some are entertainment related. Um, you know, these are things that I do to keep myself entertained. But plus, if you're trying to get your news from me, it, don't use me as the sole news source. I'll do my best to be factual and to give people my sources. Whenever I do read something that's newsworthy or that I deem newsworthy, I get all these little articles curated for me. And this one came to me at 9:27 in the a.m. this morning, Sunday morning, Sunday, June 7th, 2020. 10 things you need to know today. Let's see. Number one was tens of thousands gathered throughout U.S. for protest. Tens of thousands of people took to the streets Saturday in several major U.S. cities, including Washington, D.C., New York, and Seattle, as well as smaller towns across the country to protest against police brutality 2 weeks after George Floyd was killed in police custody in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The movement has also spread around the globe. Demonstrations have been occurring throughout the U.S. for days now, but Saturday's rally stood out for their sheer size, especially the one in the nation's capital, where the crowd worked its way to the White House. Most of the events also took place without major incident after more than a week of sometimes violent discord between police officers and protesters. This is according to the New York Times and Reuters. It's going worldwide. George Floyd tragically lost his life. Was well, I mean, by all accounts, allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly, so I don't get myself in too much trouble. But he was murdered. Okay, allegedly. And by accident, maybe. But I guess, this is why police need to be trained, and I encourage police to get trained properly. Who knows what was going on in former officer David Chauvin's head at the time. I mean, the picture that comes up is that glassy look when he's staring straight into the camera with his knee on George Floyd's neck. Just, is this happening? Am I doing this? Am I doing this now? Yeah. Horrific, horrific. But if he becomes a symbol of change, he paid the ultimate price for sure. But if he becomes a symbol of change, and people start looking at each other differently, and just realizing, hey, we're all on this ball falling through space together. Let's all get along. Can't we all just get along? Do you remember that? You remember Rodney King? Remember? Yeah. All right, number two. Global coronavirus deaths surpass 400,000. The confirmed global coronavirus death toll has surpassed 400,000 per data collected by Johns Hopkins University. The number of confirmed infections worldwide is approaching 7 million. The United States, which is nearing 2 million infections, accounts for more than a quarter of the global death total, with nearly 110,000 since the outbreak began. The United Kingdom has the second highest fatality count at 40,548, followed by Brazil, Italy, and France. Brazil on Saturday stopped publishing a running total of coronavirus infections and deaths, though it reportedly still shows the figures from the previous 24 hours. Cases continue to grow in several other countries, including Russia, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, and Iran. This is according to Al Jazeera and Johns Hopkins University. All right, there's still something out there, still a bug out there, still a novel COVID-19 coronavirus that's out there that has no cure and, very little remedy or treatment. So be wary. It's out there, but I'm not giving hugs and kisses and handshakes. But I'm working. I'm out there. I still got to work. Still got to make a living. That's the way our society is made. It's not like things are going to be given to us. This is how we set up our society, and it's all falling apart for this little virus. That 99.98% are going to come through just fine. I feel bad for those that have lost their lives, but I mean, you look at the numbers: let's see, 7 million worldwide infections, and then 400,000. You do the math. I'm no math major. That looks like it's a small amount of people, sadly, are losing their lives, but the majority are coming through. They're surviving. So yeah, I'm out there. I'm out there doing a job right next to other people, but I'm not giving hugs. Hey, I miss hugs. I like hugs. Coronavirus. Come on, people. Mm. All right. Number 3 on the 10 things you need to know today. Now, this is actually Sunday's news. Some of it might be a little old because it came out this morning, but I'll go through it with you if you want to. I got DJ Peter out there. Stay safe y un abrazo. I like that. Man, you know what I miss about Miami? DJ Peter. I miss Spanglish. when I used to lived down in Miami and the Florida Keys and even Fort Lauderdale. I graduated high school in Fort Lauderdale in 1986. Class of 86 rules. Western High School, Fort Lauderdale. But growing up down there was a lot of Spanglish. There's a big Spanish community, and I'm half Cuban myself, so I knew some Spanish. From what I've been told, Spanish was my first language, and I used to translate the soap operas from English to Spanish for my great grandma. uh, yeah, these are things that I'm told. I have no idea if I did them or not. I was a little baby, and I was just learning how to talk. But that was the thing that I did, or at least it was reported to me. That's what I did. All right, all right. Back to the news. Back to the news. Thank you, DJ Peter. Hey, he's funny. If you get a chance, follow DJ Peter, Deejay, Peter, common spelling. Follow him on Facebook. He's usually got he does some streaming too, as far as I could see. He does some music streaming where he gets on his ones and twos and does his thing. I hope he's doing well. I hope if you want to call me 501-470-6386, you can be a part of it. You can call me right now as we're recording live on Facebook in the 6 o'clock hour Central Time. I've been doing these at 6 p.m. Central Time on Sundays. Oh, look at that. Aaron Mitchner. Are you selling stuff? Is that what's going on here? Wait, I gotta read. I gotta read what he wrote here. That's funny. Let's see. Aaron Mitchner. I have a big mess of equipment and cords, mics into a slow but 50% done. I have my seating area elaborate and user friendly, nicer than I had imagined. Once I'm confident, I have anything and everything I can imagine all within reach. Write some notes of importance from Dory's instructions to do the 3 hour period. She and I discussed it. It cannot be hard to, especially with right equipment. Rock and roll, Aaron EMJO, professional percussionist. Okay. All right. I'm not exactly sure what I just read, but there's a big note there, and it'll live on my Facebook for in the video forever and ever. I'll be posting this up on YouTube so you can read what Aaron J. Mitchner read. I'm not exactly sure what he meant. Oh my goodness. Party on. All right. Lost my train of thought. That's pretty easy. Knock me off my train. Okay. All right. 2 Buffalo police officers charged with assault. 2 Buffalo police officers, Robert McCabe and Aaron Torgalski, were both charged with 1 count of second-degree assault Saturday. Prosecutors said they were seen on video Thursday shoving a 75-year-old man to the ground during protest against police brutality. The officers have pleaded not guilty and were released without bail. The video sparked outrage across the country, which intensified when the Buffalo Police Department said the protester, Martin Gugino, tripped and fell. Gugino was hospitalized with a head injury resulting from the fall. He is now in serious but stable condition and is progressing in his recovery. McCabe and Torgowski were suspended without pay Friday, prompting their 57 colleagues on the Buffalo Police Department's emergency response team to resign from the unit, but not the police force altogether in their defense. So they resigned from their position, but they still got their jobs. Was that really hurting them all that much? I mean, they made a statement for sure. Trying to make a statement for their brother police officer. But were they right? Pushing a 75-year-old man to the ground and then saying he fell. Oh, he fell. Sorry, he fell hard on the pavement. All right. There's video out there, kids. Okay. If you're looking to do something bad, somebody's going to video it. How about that? He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. There's videos out there. There's cameras. Everybody's got a camera. Don't do something bad. Be good people. That shouldn't be the only reason that you don't do something bad. But if that helps to deter you from doing bad things, know this. There's cameras. Somebody's going to record you. You can look around. Ooh, it's dark. It's nighttime. It's dark. I don't think anybody's looking. Anybody's looking. Okay, I'm going to do this bad thing. Boom! Infrared, buddy. They got you. They caught you on tape. Okay? Don't do bad things. Be good people. Be good. Be good people. Just like your mama told you. Be good. Unless you had a bad mama. Then, just be good. I love my mama. Okay. Excuse me. All right. Number 4. Bush among prominent Republicans who reportedly won't support Trump's reelection. Former President George W. Bush won't support the reelection of President Trump, the New York Times reports. The news isn't shocking, considering Bush didn't vote for Trump in 2016. But the Times notes the reproach carries a different weight when an incumbent and his shared agenda with Senate leaders are on the line. Other prominent Republicans who reportedly won't or may not vote for Trump are Jeb Bush, Senator Mitt Romney, Republican Utah, and Cindy McCain, the widow of the late Senator John McCain, Republican Arizona. It's unclear if any of them will vote for the Democratic nominee, former Vice President Joe Biden, though McCain is expected to. So, I guess we're crossing party lines. He's polarizing. The man in the White House is polarizing. When he first got elected, hey, like it or not, man, he's the president. You got to respect the office. I still got to respect the office, but he's doing some shady stuff, man. There's you 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 got to agree. Well, maybe you don't have to agree. You're entitled to your opinion, but I mean, I'm starting to see he's doing some shady stuff up there. At least that's all the reports I'm getting. I need a news source that tells me that he's doing it right. Maybe I need to watch some more Fox News. I try to balance it out. Some Fox, some CNN, some Fox, some CNN. But I don't really watch those kind of news shows because they're really skewed and they provide a lot of entertainment. I want facts, baby. Where do I get the facts? Where can I find the facts? Maybe you can tell me. I mean, you can drop me some comments or give me a call, 501-470-6386. I don't know about you, but I kind of enjoy having having my gas under $1 a gallon. That sounds great to me. But OPEC says no, no, we got to make more money, so they're cutting their. Oh, my sweet Amanda Panda, you're out there, Channel 7 News, bro. Yes, I miss Miami. Amanda Panda out there. Oh, my sweet friend. It's good to see you. If you want to call, man, I want you to be a part of the show. I want you to call 501-470-6386. Give me a talk to. I want to hear your voice for a minute. Put you out there. Tell me what you're up to. What kind of work are you doing these days? On a smaller scale. I know I'm reading the global news, what's going on in the nation and the world. You still working at the hospital? What kind of work you doing out there? What have you been up to? You're one of the essential personnel out there, one of the essential people. All right. All right. I know. I keep getting off my train. I never edit these things either. So you're going to get to hear this raw and uncut. So, what do you think about OPEC and slashing oil production so they can keep their money in their pockets? And I'm enjoying that 99 cent gas at the pump. We're not going that far, but it's nice to be able to fill up your vehicle and let it drive for days and days for just a little bit of money. So, hey, I guess that's one byproduct of this pandemic and staying at home. And the earth is getting cleaner. That's the other byproduct. I guess there is that. I laugh. I laugh. People are dying. I laugh. People are surviving. I laugh. So hey, it's killing some people, but it's the earth, baby. It's the earth in its cycle. Things die, things live. There is a season. Turn, turn, turn. There you go. All right, number 6 on the 10 things you need to know today. Sheriff's deputy killed in alleged ambush in California. Ugh, bad news. Sergeant Damon Gultzwiller, a Santa Cruz County, California sheriff's deputy, was killed and 2 other officers injured Saturday in what law enforcement officials described as an ambush. Gultzwiller was 38. Several deputies responded to a call about a suspicious van parked in the Santa Cruz Mountains that the caller had said, he had guns and bomb making materials inside. Sheriff Jim Hart said. When deputies arrived, the van drove off and they followed, but were met with gunfire and explosives. The suspect fled the scene, but was eventually found and arrested. Hart said Gutzwiller, who was married with 1 child and another on the way, was a beloved figure at the sheriff's office. This is according to the Associated Press and NBC News. I've said it already. I said it in the beginning of this podcast. Most people are nice. Not all cops are bad. Not all people are good. But, most cops are pretty good. They're good people. They're trying to do the job right, trying to do it right. And like I said, they're under pressure. But hey, I know that doesn't excuse any wrongdoing. People are under pressure all the time. They have families they need to support. You have a man or a woman who is trying to support his or her other half and their children, and it takes a lot. If you lose your job, you're going to have that kind of pressure, or if your hours get cut, you're going to have that kind of pressure on your head. So yeah, it's stressful times. Lots of people can be under stress, and a lot of times you see people, doing something that's maybe not very sportsmanlike. But you got to look at it from their side too. You got to kind of try to figure out, hey, what's going on in their head. Now if they're doing something that's too detrimental to others and themselves, you got to stop that. And who do we have to stop that? Well, our police force. That's what we hire them for. That's what they're trained for, to keep things moving properly and straight. Just occasionally we have the bad apple. I fully believe that most people are good. Are you good? Are you a good person? You still with me at all? Watching this after, maybe? I don't know. All right, number 7 on the 10 things you need to know today. Libya's UN forces launch offensive as Haftar calls for ceasefire. Libya's United Nations-backed government of national accord said they launched an offensive against renegade military commander Khalifa Haftar's forces Saturday to seize the strategic city of Sirte, which is the last major settlement between the country's west and east. Beyond it are Libya's main oil export ports, Haftar's most important asset in the conflict. Haftar, meanwhile, has called for a ceasefire to begin Monday morning, along with one of his key allies, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. But the GNA did not appear to be receptive, responding that Haftar started the war. They started it, but we will choose the time and place when it ends. This is according to Al Jazeera. They started it. They started it. Heard that since you were a kid. I'll end it. Peace in the Middle East. Give peace a chance. Come on, kids. People are people all over the world. Everybody wants the same things. You know, a little money in their pocket, roof over their heads, food on their plates. Give peace a chance. Just talk to people. Resolve your conflicts without the use of violence and weapons. All right, number 8 on the 10 things you need to know today. And once again, if you want to be a part of this, you can call me 501-470-6386 and I'll pump you right in there. We can talk for about a minute or two. I just want to hear your voices. Find out what you're up to these days and anywhere in the world. Oh, speaking of anywhere in the world, you can even Skype me. You can Skype me by looking up KeysDAN on Skype. Just look it up right there. See? It says KeysDAN. Just look me up on Skype. I'm out there. Pretty easy to find. If you give me a hello, I'll give you a hello back and we'll Skype it. And then you'll end up right there. You'll pop up in that part of the screen where I have my little advertisements going. All right. Oh, number 8 on the 10 things you need to know today. Crowd heckles Minneapolis mayor after he rejects the idea of defunding police department. Minneapolis, Minnesota Mayor Jacob Frey was booed by protesters Saturday after they marched to his home to ask if he would commit to defund the city's police department in the wake of the killing of George Floyd. Frey, a former civil rights attorney who vowed to improve the police department's strained relations with minorities, said that he did not support defunding the police. In response, the crowd chanted things like, "Go home, Jacob," and "Shame," as he walked away. Frey later said he favors massive structural reform to revise a structurally racist system, but he does not support abolishing the entire police department. This is according to Reuters and CNN. Yeah, duh. Don't abolish the whole police department. We don't need anarchy. We need some rules. Just reform the police that you have, or get if those guys don't and girls don't want to fly right, to sit, to straighten up, and we get a whole new police department. Just to maybe trade police departments with a whole nother one. You guys move over here, you move over here, and we'll train you that way, and cross training and all that kind of stuff. Don't burn the place to the ground. Do not do these things. Don't do this. Police are generally good. People are generally good. Just some people fall on hard times and get desperate. So that happens. All right, number 9 on the 10 things you need to know today. Oh, people are doing okay out there. You tell me. Drop me some comments. Anyway, number 9. Marine Corps to remove ban Confederate battle flag. The United States Marine Corps on Friday issued a directive to remove and ban displays of the Confederate battle flag at Marine installations, including items such as mugs, posters, and bumper stickers. The announcement comes at a time when protests responding to issues like police brutality and racial injustice have taken a hold over much of the U.S. Current events are a stark reminder that it is not enough for us to remove symbols that cause division. Rather, we must strive to eliminate division itself. General David Berger, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, said in a statement earlier this week. The Marine Corps, in a statement on Twitter on Friday, said the Confederate flag has, quote, all too often been co-opted by violent extremist and racist groups, end quote, and has, quote, no place in our Corps, end quote. This is according to the New York Times and CBS News. Well, what do you think? Is it a symbol that has cause enough to be removed? Are we supposed to be whitewashing our history? It is part of history. I mean, shoot, I used to enjoy watching the Dukes of Hazzard with their General Lee with the Confederate flag on top, and that was good old fashioned fun for me. But now the Confederate flag is, it's a strong symbol of, it's just, should we be taking down all these statues, of Confederate soldiers, of people of history? Should we be taking them all down? Every, if you take one statue down that represents that history, do we take this statue down that represents this history? When does it all end? Do we have no statues to commemorate anyone, anywhere, anytime? Is art done? Is sculptures done? I don't know. It's tricky. It's definitely a tricky situation. But should we be knocking down all these statues and symbols? I don't particularly like the Nazi symbol, but I'll fight for your right to wear it. I don't particularly like the ideology of what Nazis do, but and I don't, the part where they start harming people, that's the part that I have a problem with. But if you want to be, if you want to wear the symbols that you want to wear, I don't know. It's a free country. As long as you're not inciting violence, as you can see, the frustration in my face and hear it in my voice, it's tricky. It's tiptoeing. It's all this PC stuff that's foreign to me. I didn't grow up with it. I grew up hearing things and seeing things one way, and now that many years later, I'm a dinosaur at 51 years old. Am I too old? I still remember seeing, Leonard Skinner with their Confederate flags, all the merchandise that had their Confederate flags, and other Southern rock and country groups that had these symbols on them. And it was good old fun. And just remembering those days, really not, we don't want slavery. We don't want the things that they wanted, but it's history. You can't erase history. We have to know what happened in the past so we don't make those same mistakes again. It's history, right? Oh well. Symbols. Symbols. We put a little too much power on words and symbols and things like that. Can't let those symbols run your life. Words, symbols. Whew. All right. Number 10 on the 10 things you know today and you need to know today. And I'll finish up with this one and we'll get on up out of here. And I'll see you next Sunday. Let's see. Number 10. Oh, man. Tropical storms. Number 10 on the 10 things you need to know today. Tropical storm Cristobal nears the Gulf Coast. Tropical storm Cristobal advanced towards the U.S. Gulf Coast on Sunday. The storm is expected to make landfall at some point during the day with threats of flooding and tornadoes. Heavy rain has already hit parts of Louisiana, Florida, and Georgia, and is expected to continue up the Mississippi Valley and into the upper Midwest early this week. A tornado also hit near downtown Orlando, Florida on Saturday night, just missing a group of protesters. No injuries were reported. Excuse me. Cristobal had weakened to a tropical depression while moving over Mexico, but was upgraded to a tropical storm again after gaining steam while over the Gulf. The storm will likely continue to strengthen until it makes landfall, but it is not expected to grow into a hurricane. This is according to NBC News and the Weather Channel. All right. Well, that was the 10 things you need to know today as we record this on Sunday, June 7th, 2020. Let me know what you're up to. I hope you're doing reasonably well. Give me a call, 501-470-6386. Let's see. Let's see. And also, if you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. And you could be on the What Makes You Famous podcast, hashtag What Makes You Famous. And if you just want to learn some stuff with me or hear the news as I read it, if you like the sound of my voice, I try to do these at least daily, the 10 things you need to know today. And maybe, whatever's going on that day, or, if there's days of the week, or if there's something interesting that pops up into my head and I want to do a podcast about it, I want to learn more about it, might as well talk into a microphone and let you learn about it as well. You can check out the What Makes You Smarter podcast, hashtag What Makes You Smarter. The KeysDAN show, I guess I'm going to be doing these live on Sunday evenings. If I don't have an event, Sunday evenings, I can do them at 6 p.m. Central Time, and then I will put them up as a podcast afterwards, so you can listen to them, consume them at your own leisure. Listen to the sound of my voice while you do the things that you do. Let me know what you do while you're listening to me ramble on, talk about things. All right. Well, that's it for me. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Wrap it up. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.